Hey everybody, Mah-Dry-Bread here. I've got the apartment to myself for a couple hours, so I thought that I'd do a vlog, because I'm sure you guys probably want to hear from me again and have an update on how everything's going. Unpacking is going slowly but stably. Hi, Millie. You see this right here? We started the video and already I've got Millie meowing at me because she hears me talking. We'll get more into this later, but I've got a list of talking points in front of me here because people have been leaving a lot of comments both on the house tour video and on my vlog I put out on Monday explaining what has happened and everything. So I've gotten a ton of comments and I've responded to them on an individual basis. However, I thought I might as well respond to a lot of these in a video as well so more people widely see it instead of you having to hunt down the comment and happen to stumble across it or something. So I've got a bunch of talking points. I'm going to start by basically responding to a bunch of comments I've gotten. And then later I'm going to get into telling you how things are going to be going in the future so far as I can tell at the moment. You see, I just took a shower recently, so my hair is still wet, so she's rubbing her head on my head to try and clean her head, because it's hard for cats to clean their head, they can't lick the top of their own head, just in case you're wondering what she's doing right now. Okay, Maylee? Well, there's something for you to look at. Okay, first, one of the most common comments and most annoying comments that I'm constantly getting on my house tour video. The place doesn't look that bad. A few people just say it looks nice, or it's better than what they're expecting, but other people are like, oh, that's not so bad, you can deal with that. I will remind you, it's one room, and one bathroom, and like a two-step balcony for two people. People seem to be forgetting. Two people. Like, when you guys saw on the house tour, there's my bed, and then, like, right beside it is my mom's bed. And she's almost never out of the house. What people seem to be forgetting is that, yeah, I'm disabled, I'm home all the time, so is my mom. She's out right now for a few hours. She is also very disabled. She doesn't work like a 9-to-5 job or anything. In fact, she doesn't work a job at all. I work more than she does on my YouTube channel. Doctor's orders, she is not allowed to work. She's in worse shape than I am. That's why she only leaves the house for like a couple hours a week just to go get groceries and stuff. If she continues to work a job, what happens is very quickly she starts getting stressed and very fatigued and could collapse. It's very detrimental to her health. So she can't work. So anytime I'm sitting here doing anything at my desk, basically, unless she's like in the bathroom or in the shower or out getting groceries once a week, she's also in this room trying to live her life as well. She wants to so much as get a glass of water while she's right behind my computer turning on a faucet. She wants to just check her email. Well, she's in the same room as me, right over there with her laptop open, checking her email. Like, we're living our entire lives in the same room here. Cooking dinner, everyone here can hear it. The oven's right behind my computer here. The microwave is on top of that. Like, there's a whole kitchen unit directly behind my monitors here. The microphone picks all of that up. So much as walking, microphone picks it up. We have no doors to keep cats out. I used to be able to just close the door on my room, and cats wouldn't be able to walk in my room. Now I have 3 doors. One leads outside of the apartment into the hallway, one leads to the bathroom, and one leads to the balcony. None of these places are places where, of course, I can lock a cat. It's not that I'm locking them out of a place, it's that they would be locked into a place, and one of those there's a risk of death, and another one there's a risk of getting lost. So, yeah, not happening. That ties into my next point of, we don't mind background noise. A lot of people have said, like, I don't mind if you have some background noise in your videos and stuff. This is mostly in response to me saying that we have kind of a loud air conditioner in this unit. Although a few people seem to be talking about, like, noise of, like, cats or my mom walking around. I'm just hoping when a cat doesn't start eating at the food dish, like right beside my computer here during this, because that'll be loud and gross sounding. Hopefully we'll be able to get that moved once everything's unpacked and we have a bit more room, but still. that might never get moved. That might always be the best spot for it. I don't know. And of course, cats jumping on my chair and everything and meowing at me. But they say we don't mind background noise. Here's the depressing thing, though. You're the vast minority. And I get paid by views of people who don't have ad block on. Which means that I kind of need to cater to the majority on that particular one. You see, what I'm talking about here is there is an old saying that film is 70% audio. It's not a 50-50 split between audio and video. That is to say that a person will notice audio flaws and care more about good or bad audio to a much higher degree than caring about good or bad video. My gameplay footage can always be crazy HD good looking. If you're hearing shit background noise on my microphone, people are way more willing to tune out. And yes, I do have my hardcore, like, 200 people who would watch anything anyway. But at the time of recording this, I have, like, what, 21,000 subscribers? And that whole I lost my house, please watch video has less than 2,000 views at the time I'm recording this. Like, that's almost no one even watched the video. And then it has 113 comments. A lot of those are me, and responding to people. A lot of those are also people having conversation back and forth with me, which means of those less than 2,000 people, less than 100 of them even felt they had anything to say. How many likes do I have on that video? 199 at the time of recording this. So less than, well, basically 200 people even put a like in support of me or the video. It's always a weird one when I always see people commenting like, do I like videos of bad news? Like, what do I do with that? And I always say, I understand the confliction and everything, just don't dislike it because that actively hurts my channel, even if it's bad news. Either do nothing or like it, but I can understand either way you go on that. Just don't dislike it. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked even with my notes here for talking points. Right, vast minority. If I were to start putting up videos with background noise of the loud air conditioning, which is not on right now because it's actually quite a cold day. It's like -5 out or something, or it's supposed to get to -5. So air conditioning's not even on right now. We have the ventilation just because it's an apartment building, but the ventilation itself is not terribly loud and it's across the room. So I don't think the microphone picks it up, and if it does, it's probably something I could auto-adjust out. Hi, Millie. Background noise, though, also consists of cats being loud and doing loud things. And that's not really something I can control, and that brings down the whole quality of the video, of the audio in the video. So when new people are finding my videos, new viewers tend to not just watch every person they subscribe to, and often will click off of videos within the first 15 seconds if they're not immediately hooked. Many people do this. The vast majority do that. So you need to hook them in that first little bit. And if their first impression of one of my videos is annoying background noises, but the gameplay is good, and they haven't really given my commentary a chance yet, chances are they're going to go watch someone else because there are 100,000 people who do the same thing I do. Maybe they would have ended up liking me. They don't know because they gave up on it because they didn't like the audio. That's just how the majority of people are. So I've got to work around that, and that's not something I can work around in this environment. I mean, do you look at what's fucking going on right now? I have no way to stop this. Like, on a webcam, on a vlog, it's not so bad. If I'm trying to do a serious video and just hear all this fucking clawing in the background and meowing into the microphone, you're not gonna fucking watch that guy. So that hurts the growth of my channel, and those videos are gonna be up forever. Let's say in, I don't know, anywhere from a few months to a year to 2 years, I don't know, whenever the hell I get out of this place and I get my own place and I'm moving on with my life and I'm doing YouTube. She just jumped to a chair and she's rolling around and meowing because she hears me talking, so she's getting all excited. Which is going to be a big fucking problem for recording in general. Right, Millie? So people in the future, they're going to come and even when I'm like back to doing my regular quality of video, or even better in the future, these videos are still going to be up on YouTube if I were to continue to do videos like this, and people would find those videos, and that's their first impression of me. And their first impression of me is not nearly as likely to get them to actually continue to watch me than if their first impression would be only the good stuff that I put out. So putting out this lower quality stuff hurts my channel severely in the long run, and kind of the short run too, but mostly the long run. So, yeah, I can understand a lot of you people saying that you don't mind that, because you genuinely don't mind that. I believe you when you tell me that. It's just that you're the huge minority. You're less than 1% on this one. And yes, I make more money on Patreon than I do YouTube, and those are thanks to my hardcore supporters. You guys being less than 1% of my viewership. It's like, what, 60 people donating to me on Patreon at the moment? Let me check. I think it might actually be 50. At the time we're recording this, I have 32. No, only 32 patrons. So 32 of my hardcore of hardcores are currently donating. And of course, even if you're a hardcore viewer, you don't need to donate or anything. Again, I don't want to give you that impression. But of those people who are hardcore enough that they donate on a monthly basis, and very few, actually, no, not very few. I would say 2/3 of those people who are patrons donate monthly. A few of them will donate like once every other month, and there are like 3 or 4 people who they pledge, but they've literally never donated. It's kind of frustrating because the number you see on that page is not the number I'm getting. Some people pledged a lot and have never ever donated, and have pledged it like 4 months ago, so that's kind of frustrating. I was gonna say, so even though only 32 of you guys are pledged on Patreon, you're still earning me more money a month than all of my YouTube channel. So that's how fucking awesome the hardcore of hardcore fans are. However, not everybody can donate. Everyone's in different financial situations, and not everyone wants to donate, and that's completely okay. I just can't afford to hurt the core of my job like this, hurt my YouTube channel and the quality of it, just to appeal to that mass minority when the mass majority do care about that. So unfortunately, I'm just not able to do that. My next point here is, this is responding to some of the more aggressive comments I've gotten on multiple areas. I haven't gotten any outright horrible things like insults. Oh, no, actually, I got one guy insulting, but he's not a fan of mine. It was a friend of a fan of mine who got really douchey on Facebook. But whatever, who cares? But anyway, some of these were the less sympathetic and by far less understanding comments. But a few of these came from genuine good places, so I'm not going to throw them all under the bus. But this is a case of a lot of people thinking they understand a lot about me and my disability and my situation that I'm living in, and kind of assuming that they know more than I do. You know, me, the guy living in this situation who actually has this job and has been doing it constantly for over 4 years now. And for some reason, they feel like they know more than me about this. But first one, get a side job. They're like, go out and get a job. And I'm like, hi, disabled. I have cerebral palsy and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I can barely stand for more than 10 minutes without having horrible pain in my feet and my knees. How the hell am I supposed to go do? Like, oh, just go get a side job. Oh, fucking K. Yeah, that's so easy. Genius. It was a 2-year plus failed job search that led me to working on YouTube in the first place. I had my YouTube channel before that. I was doing stuff on it occasionally, having fun with it, and I always dreamed of one day becoming a full-time YouTuber. That'd be cool, but I wanted to have an actual job, like an actual typical job is what I mean. I don't know, anything I could get, really, on the side, until my YouTube channel got big enough that I could handle something like that. I would have a conventional, 9-to-5 job until then. And that's a good plan, I think. I always recommend to people that if you want to get into YouTube as a job, have a regular average person job and do YouTube on the side until it becomes financially viable, if it ever becomes financially viable, because YouTube is not a stable place. If you're not mega famous, you're not feeding yourself very well. Patreon is new, and that helps a shit ton. But for the most part, have a job on the side to help pay the bills. Unless you're in an extraordinary situation like me, where I need to work from home. The 2-year failed job search, it's not just because there aren't any jobs. Like, I used to live in Hamilton up until this move here, where now I live in Toronto. And in Hamilton, most of the jobs are manual labor. I can't do manual labor. I'm not physically able to. I'm too disabled. And a lot of jobs that I was probably able to do, it's still a very tough job market, I will remind you, but even some of the jobs I was probably able to do and could probably do okay at were too far away. I can't walk there because it's not within like 5 minutes of what I can handle. And I can't drive because part of my cerebral palsy is that I can't picture things properly in my head, which means I've got a very bad sense of direction for long distances like that. Like at my old house, I knew how to walk all the way to the main street from my house because I'd gone on I've been in a car ride down that way so many times, I've seen it so many times, and I've had to walk there so many times that I understand if I go down this straight line, that when I see things, I'll recognize them. I can't picture what's going to happen next to my head, but I know that I'll recognize it. I've done it a lot of times. It's kind of like muscle memory. I don't know what it looks like 1 block in the opposite direction of my old house. I lived there for like 5-6 years, and I don't know what it looks like 1 block in the opposite direction because I so rarely go that way that if I go that way and I look, I don't really recognize that. So I can't drive because of that, because I wouldn't be able to really go anywhere. It'd be incredibly dangerous, in fact, just to have me driving. So I can't do that. And if you can't drive and you can't take public transport or transit because you don't know where you would be going, you can't really read a map very well because you can't correlate the things on the map to what you're visually seeing very well. You would have to like go a block and then use the landmark thing every single time and try and figure it the fuck out. It's incredibly difficult just to get around and do everyday life, so really I need to work from home. That goes into my next question. Some people said, get a side job doing like freelance video editing. The freelance video editing I could go do is incredibly different from what I do right now. Yeah, I've done student films back in high school. Yeah, I've dabbled a little bit in working with this guy who did documentaries. I once, he was a family friend, so I once did some camera work with him, just for free, basically to learn from him. A tiny bit of editing with him, but... and my uncle who actually owns this apartment. We're only fortunate enough to be here because he happened to own this apartment here in Toronto. He lives in Hong Kong, but he purchased this apartment here in Toronto because he wanted to rent it out to make a little money on the side. No one happened to live here. He didn't happen to rent it at the time that this financial crisis happened to us, so he said, like, you guys live in there for as long as you need, just stay safe. I'll pay for it. I own the room. So that was incredibly nice of him. And he does animation over in Hong Kong and freelance video editing. If any of you know Babar, the children's cartoon, he animates for Babar. And he's done a lot of things over his career. He was also a comic book artist and I believe writer for quite a long time. So he's had a very interesting career, and he's taught me a little bit about editing and filmmaking. He's had me try my hand at a few things, just editing raw footage from, I believe it was Monk, I think it's a sitcom. Nothing professional, nothing. It's not like I'm saying I'm an editor for Monk. I mean, he just got me some raw footage that they used on a shoot there to practice with. That's it. Didn't go anywhere. The editing I'd have to do for any freelance thing is it's not that it's too difficult for me, necessarily. It's that it's not my type of editing at all. It's not something that I know how to do. I would have to learn how, and I'm not really in a situation in which I can. There are a lot of online resources that cost a lot of money. There's your problem. I don't have money. I make less than half of minimum wage. See, this bullshit. She's just jumping around the room for no reason because she's excited, I guess. That kind of gets in the way of recording. But it's not as easy as you might think, just picking up a freelance gig editing video. Not really something I can do, and even then, I'm the kind of guy who, when I'm editing, I need to tune out all other noise and just edit. I can't fucking do that with someone living their life in the same room as me. So I wouldn't be able to. I can't edit with other people there. And that's when I'm doing any kind of serious editing project. If I just need to throw together a Let's Play video or something, that is not hardcore enough editing that I can't do with noise in the room. As long as the noise isn't, like, crazy overwhelming or anything. Next one, get a side job voice acting. I kind of am. I've got this friend, I won't say too much yet, because I think that this whole idea might be private at the moment, but basically I have a friend who's big into this indie voice acting scene. She did voice work for Sunny 2, if any of you know that Flash game. Fucking awesome game if you want to look it up. Sunny and Sunny 2, great RPGs, turn-based RPGs in Flash. She did some voice work for that. I think she's done voice work for a lot of things, though. I just haven't talked to her a ton about it, but I know that she is in that whole voice acting scene online. And she actually knew that I was interested. She found me through my show. She knew I was interested in maybe trying my hand at voice acting, see if it's something I like and if I'm any good at. And she actually ended up casting me in something I believe is the main character. I've been shown what I believe is a rough draft of the first act of it. It's like a radio drama, and it's very interesting to me. And I believe I am the main character. Like, unless the main character switches from act to act, I'm playing the person with by far the most lines. So it'll be my first voice acting job ever. And I'm nervous about this because she did offer she said like she could scrounge something up, but I said no, I'll do this for free because I don't know if I'll be any good. I don't know if I'll enjoy it. Like, who knows? I'd rather do this for free and just see what happens. Not that I'm imagining it would be life-changing money or anything. And plus, she went out of her way to cast me, this completely unexperienced guy, in this role, which at least I consider it to be a very big role. I don't want to charge money for that. That would be rude. But anyway, if anyone doesn't know about voice acting and what goes into it from a job, I've watched some documentaries and heard some things. Unfortunately for me, there's a lot more that goes into being a good voice actor than just having a nice sounding voice and a good audio setup. I've got a bitching audio setup with a fucking Electro Voice RE20 microphone in my audio interface and everything. It sounds great. I'm not as good with the post-process effects, but that doesn't really matter because I've got dynamic going on, and that sounds pretty good. Like, I know how to speak from my diaphragm, and I know how to make that sound good. I don't really know how to do different voices. I'm not particularly good with acting in general. Doing different, being able to read off a script and do different vocal intonations and know what sounds like what and what I'm going for, and I don't have that kind of experience. Like, those are things you generally learn through experience or through tutoring, neither of which I've had. I could end up being a terrible voice actor. Just because I can do commentary, like, you know, an actor is very different from someone who works on documentaries, for instance. Documentaries are very matter-of-fact, for the most part. It's dishing out information. That's kind of what I do. And comedians aren't necessarily actors. They're not always. There's kind of acting in it. It's part of comedy. But this is very different from an actor-actor. And a voice actor is very, very, very close to an actor-actor, in that they're getting into a role of a character, and they need to match whatever character is written down. It's very rare that they make their own character. Am I going to be able to do that? I don't know. So I'm kind of getting into voice acting as a side job. It's never going to pay the bills, I'm sure. Because actual paying the bills voice acting is hardcore work, where you go to sound booths and people have to hire you, and you need to be putting out your work you do everywhere and just hope people want to pick you up. Like, that's fucking intense work. That's not just sit-at-home thing. Freelance voice acting, make a few pennies on the side, that's at-home work that I can handle. So, I guess it's kind of a voice acting side job, but it's not at all come to fruition right now. Maybe one day. And the last of the big questions I get in terms of people not really understanding the situation a ton is people who say, get disability benefits and make money from that. It's way more complicated than you would think. At least where I live in Ontario, Ontario, Canada. I don't. Maybe you live in some crazy utopia where your government system for this is really well put together. Over here, you can get disqualified on the fucking stupidest of technicality. I was disqualified from multiple different systems. My mom was disqualified from like 3 different ones, and she's even more disabled than me in physical respects. Me mentally, I'm a bit more handicapped in that, again, can't picture things. But she is more handicapped in terms of physical. She is not as physically capable as I am. I'm not very physically capable at all, but at least I've got I got a tiny bit of upper body strength. I got that going for me. She doesn't. She gets exhausted very quickly. I don't tend to get exhausted right away. It's that my bones and joints and stuff start to ache, and that really holds me down. Then I get exhausted. She gets exhausted first. So she's even more limited in that than I am. Plus, I have youth on my side. I'm still 22, so I haven't decayed that badly. Although a big thing of Ehlers-Danlos is joint decay, so I'm going. So get disability benefits and make money from that. Here's the thing. Here's one thing that will instantly disqualify fucking anyone. There's a money requirement. You have to make less than a certain amount of money or have a certain amount less of money in assets. Big problem with that. For my mom, she gets instantly disqualified because technically any asset of my father, who they're not legally divorced or separated yet because we're still waiting on the court case that his lawyer keeps delaying. Technically, until that happens, despite him not paying support, his assets are our assets, so she gets instantly declined because my father owns a big truck, which is technically worth a lot of money. So because he owns a truck that we have no access to, haven't seen in years, like, this truck instantly passes the money threshold, meaning we are disqualified. It's as if we're not disabled, because this guy that I haven't seen in over a year owns a truck. The fuck? I don't know, but this is how the Ontario system works. It doesn't make any sense. For me, I instantly get disqualified because they want paperwork that doesn't exist anymore. They want paperwork of my original diagnosis of my disability of cerebral palsy specifically. I have old papers, that's documentation from my school systems that all prove I have it, because those cannot be written up without the original doctor's notes that prove it. So this is definitive proof that I have it. However, they specifically need the original doctor stuff for no real given reason. So despite how I have proof, I don't have the exact document of proof despite having all the exact same information. Those sheets don't exist anymore so far as I can tell. We don't have any contact with my original physician from back when I was diagnosed anymore. We don't have a copy of those papers, I don't think. It was probably lost in the moving process of one of the many times we've moved in our lives. So I'm disqualified for that. I would have to be re-diagnosed, which is a massive process that we don't really have the time or ability to do anymore, and even then, I would likely still be declined for payment of assets. Yes, it's my business, is this desk and everything on it, but all the money I've accumulated over a large part of my life has gone into this job. My microphone is like $350. The soundboard is like $400. My computer and every component I've put in it, its current value is over $2,000. The monitors are a couple hundred each. I have a $300 keyboard. $60 mouse, I think. Almost $200 when I got this, I think, this headset. I have to buy fucking expensive professional stuff to make sure that I can put out the quality I can, which is why any tiny amount of money that does not go directly into feeding myself goes right back into making this job as professional as I get. The webcam you're seeing me through cost a lot of money. All of this are my assets. I own this. So, boom, right there, I, for some reason, am disqualified because my computer's worth a lot of money, which means I must make a lot of money? No, it means every penny I can possibly afford on anything other than eating goes straight into this computer so that I can continue to make good quality shit for you guys. But that disqualifies me because the Ontario system for benefits is fucking terrible. So, for those of you saying get disability benefits and make money from that, I don't know what utopia you guys live in, but it's not fucking happening here. On to the questions of people just kind of asking about the direction of my show, though. People were asking, is there any more Flash Trash? In the very last few days leading up to the move, Brandon and I managed to get 4 episodes of Flash Trash recorded. Those are all going to be going up soon. I'm going to try and get one out every Sunday. Maybe even Saturday. I don't know. And considering Flash Trash tends to be very short sessions, these games are often very short, I might even be able to record some here at the condo with Brandon. My main worry, though, is I kind of only want to do it if Brandon's got to be free at the same time as me. My mom's got to be out, so it's probably only like once or twice a week. And then I have to hope the cats are very quiet at the time and that the air conditioning's not going. So right now is a good time. It's very mild weather, sometimes even cold weather. So no air conditioning noises. Gotta hope my cats are asleep, which they're cats, they do sleep a lot. In fact, Millie's trying to right now, but she's decided to sit in a chair beside me, so she's just staring at her own chair with her eyes half open and her ears back because she's annoyed with my talking. But if all the moons align and the goat is sacrificed at midnight with the blood spilled counterclockwise, then yes, I do think that I will occasionally be able to record some Flash Trash with Brandon in suitable quality and get that out to you guys. So Flash Trash, it's not over. I'm sorry there's always a big hiatus with Flash Trash, but I genuinely do believe I can somewhat consistently make Flash Trash. It's not necessarily going to be every week, but you're going to get at least an episode a month, probably more than one episode a month. And we already have 4 recorded right now that are all able to start going up. I'm just going to pace myself on them. I do think Flash Trash can keep going. Last big question that came to mind that people are asking about is the creepypasta. Are we going to keep doing creepypasta? I have none stockpiled right now. I wasn't able to get any stockpiled. Am I going to keep doing that? When I find time and when I have the will to do it, because it does take a lot out of me doing those. I'm already terribly unmotivated right now and really trying to work through that because I'm just in such a bad situation right now, and a lot of this job is self-motivation. I mean, if I can't get myself to be pumped up and ready to record, my commentary's gonna suck, and I'm not gonna be feeling it at all, and it's not gonna be fun to watch. And if it's not fun to watch, then it's just, again, hurting my channels, putting out bad quality entertainment. So a lot of it is self-motivation, and I've been having issues with that lately because I was getting close to my deadline of stockpile, and then having issues now because I'm in a fucking one-room apartment with my mom. And don't get me wrong, my mom's awesome, super supportive of the job, but she's trying to live her life here too, and I'm sure you guys want some, no matter how much you love your parents, you want some privacy too, right? I got no fucking privacy. I mean, my bed is right next to her bed, with no privacy. And she's got no privacy from me, and I bet she would love privacy too. So, yeah, it's just kind of a shit situation that we're in right now. That's kind of the update right now. I'm recording this at, like, almost 8 o'clock, so it's actually getting pretty dark, but you can't tell because, you are seeing, when my, okay, right here is really fucking bright, the background, right? If this were anything but, like, it's actually reasonably dark right now. The white balance and the exposure balance on my webcam are just going crazy. Like, they brighten it up a lot, which makes it look like it's perfectly daytime. Like, it could be noon right now. It's overcast and dark out in reality. I don't have the front light on right now. The monitor is just illuminating me because it's dark enough that I can do that. On the average day, during the daytime, I would be like Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat in the old days when he was just a black outline, because it would be so fucking bright on these windows, because we have to wait until we have money, like $200 or something, to get some curtain rods installed and get some curtains and have them come down and everything. Like big, thick black ones to really block out the light so that I have a backdrop that is not a fucking solar flare. So yeah, that'll be a problem. Gotta wait for that before I do too much hardcore streaming. Unless I'm doing streaming at like this exact time of day, which not gonna happen often. But yeah. I think that's all I really have to say. I'm gonna try and keep you guys updated. If you're not following me on Twitter and Facebook, when I update people, I tend to update people there first because it's just really quick and easy. I can type something and you see it, kind of thing. So that's the fastest way to do it. I've been toying with the idea of making a video that's essentially like, I feel like every small YouTuber, I consider myself a small YouTuber at least. I'm small enough that I'm making less than half of minimum wage in pay on YouTube. So I consider myself a small YouTuber. We get a fuck ton of comments. We, as in small YouTubers, get a fuck ton of comments that say things along the lines of, I really like your show. It's really good. I don't get why you don't get more views. Or, I really wish I could help your show grow. People say that to me literally every week. And it's very flattering that they think that they enjoy the show so much and that they think it's of good quality. And I'll tell you a secret for all of you starting on YouTube. Making really awesome content alone does not make your channel grow. That itself does not make your channel grow. That retains viewers. What makes your channel grow is the shareability of your video. How, like, really short, funny things tend to be very shareable because it's like you can share it with your friends and your friends will instantly get the point and get attached to it. My channel has very little shareability, which means it's really hard to, like, market it. Like, if you're super into my show, awesome, but I'm sure you've had friends that you've showed my channel to and they're not into it. It's not just instantly this punchy thing. You kind of have to watch a lot and get attached, you know? So, like, that's why Flash Trash is one of the ones that people get more attached to, even though it's, like, impossible to fucking find Flash Trash. You basically have to stumble across it or have a friend show you it. But people get into that way faster because they instantly get this chemistry between Brandon and I. With a lot of my videos, you don't instantly get that. And it's a bit of a rough start on a lot of videos. You know, the opening is like this dry opening, or it takes a little while to get into it, you know? You're in it for the long run, really. That's why a lot of people will tell you, like, start with parody videos and shit like that, which is really mass shareable. And once you pass 100,000 subscribers, you just do whatever the fuck you want, because then you have a hardcore fan base. It is very much like that. That is completely true. So you'll find channels all over if you look hard enough on YouTube, you'll find fucking amazing channels that have less than 1,000 subscribers. And they've done, like, over 100 videos that are just amazing. And you're like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, these people are criminally under-recognized. Is because their videos aren't terribly shareable. Or people just haven't shared it yet. So I've been toying with the idea of actually making a guide on, hey, do you want to share my stuff? Here's the best way to do it. I've been working on the video a tiny, tiny bit, like just working on the script for it. It's in super, super rough draft right now. Basically, the big thing that has come to mind that I've experimented with a few times on my Hitbox.tv streams, and it's worked phenomenally, despite only like 3 people did it, and it had a huge impact. Do you want to instantly have a huge impact on how many people come to my streams? If you're watching my stream, tweet it and put it on Facebook. You guys fucking double my view count with that one. And the one I've been experimenting with that only a few people have tried, but it's made a huge impact already. Are you following me on my Steam group? Good, because that's a really good way to know when I'm streaming, because then you get a little notification on Steam. It pops up for you even if you're in game, so you can't miss it. All you have to do is have Steam open, and you'll see it, and you be in the group. The Steam group is in the description of all of my videos. So if you like watching my streams, or you just you like to keep up with me, Steam group's a really good way to do it. On Steam, you probably have a lot of friends on your Steam, because everyone's got a lot of friends on their Steam. If you go in a Steam group, there's a button that says Invite Friends, and then there's a Select All. If you hit Select All and Invite, all of your friends will get a request like, hey, do you want to join this guy's group? a lot of people just blindly say yes to this. Then they blindly say yes. Later they see a little notification that says like, hey, this guy's streaming. There's a chance they might check it out and they're like, what's this all about? Because if they're friends with you, they're probably into the same games as you. If they're into the same games as you, and you like my show, you're probably into the same games as me, which means it's likely that a lot of those people who joined are into the same games that I would be streaming, and they're like, oh, I like that game. Let's see what this is. And they click on it. They come watch the stream, and some of them might not like it, and some of them might say like, hey, this guy's really cool. I want to watch more of this. And they continue to watch. I had like 3 guys or something who did that whole invite all thing, and overnight I got like 30 more people joining the Steam group. That's fucking awesome. So if you guys want to help, go do that, but I'll be making a proper video on it when I can. I think that's it for this video. I look forward to seeing everyone's comments. I'll be reading them and trying to respond whenever I can and everything. And thank you for your continued support. Until next time, have a nice day.